9 times a deuce.
Gabriela's taking her time at the baseline, walking around, getting ready to receive. And that's, you have a certain amount of time in between points. And
30
hey,
seconds.
You might as well use it up if you're a little bit winded.
Why would they be winded? Only 9 deuces.
Oh, my goodness. And the longest points I've ever seen.
John Evert, her brother, is dying over in the runway. It's long.
Advantage Evert.
Seventh game point for Chrissy. She had 40 love when this game began back in 1986.
Usually, you don't see Chris running this match much in a match. Usually, it is the other woman running. Look at that backhand down the line winner. That is Gabby's big shot tonight.
Smoking that backhand. Deuce 10 times. Here's the 25th point of the game. That's enough points to win a set. This is the match of the tournament, no doubt. She got the...
I've never seen Chris move so well, and Gabby is pressuring her at every turn of this point. Look at that. Right on the line. They have run from corner to corner and past corner to corner in this game.
Evert's 8th game point. She has resisted 5 breakers. 26th point of the game. A bit of an impatient shot, perhaps. 2 games all. 10 deuces.
Seats quickly, please, behind the court. Thank you. Seats quickly.
Chris Evert going back to one of those teenage tactics that she learned on Florida clay. Moonball. Sabatini. Swinging volley into the net. How much will that take out of Sabatini's morale? She had 5 break points. She worked all those 26 points and doesn't have a 3-1 lead. It is 2-all.
Love 15.
Longest game of the tournament. Nowhere near a record. Nobody knows what the records are. They aren't kept like in baseball, but I do know that Virginia Wade and Billie Jean King played a 20-deuce game in the Italian Championships once. Ace!
15.
Number 2 for Sabatini.
Whoa.
15-30.
What happens after a game like that? You tend to mentally lose it a little bit. Those were 2 very loose points on Gabriela's side.
This is most often where you get broken. When you have so many chances yourself, you do not break, you come back, and it seems to me You invariably lose your own serve in a match like this. Now,
double faulted.
her first double fault of the night takes her to double breaker. It has to be a letdown. Especially when you're playing against the Great Wall of Fort Lauderdale. And after a 26-point game, we have a sudden 5-point game. And Chris Evert, I keep letting John Lloyd into this act, don't I? Chris Evert, comma, semicolon, period, colon. Chris Evert has a 1-break lead, and so she has a winning lead in this semifinal match, which is 6-4, 3-2. And there she was 5 times, a point from being behind 3-1. Isn't this a wonderful game, tennis?
Oh, I love to watch tennis like this. I'm such a fan. There are plenty of seats left here, but I tell you, the Worcester fans are great. They come out in droves.
Well, this building has been such a boon to Worcester, the Centrum, and they really stole the tournament away from Boston by having a superior building. Women's indoor tennis in Boston has been played back to the early days of the game, but finally they found that this is a better building, holds more people, easier to get to. There's plenty of parking, so I hate to see the tournament leave Boston, but it did.
Right. 15 love.
So a space, Joanne, wouldn't you say, of about 4 or 5 points there, this match went back into the clutches of Chris Evert.
Oh, it certainly did, that last game. I just thought, if Chris loses this game, she's in big trouble, because that's when you can let exhaustion overwhelm you.
You think about it, don't you?
Sure.
You're down 3-1, you think, oh my goodness, I am tired.
Yeah, and now she really looks pretty fresh.
Well, the toughest win Chris Evert ever had in this tournament was against Joanne Russell.
Oh, I was so tired after that match. Oh.
Sabatini.
15 all.
And that's the volley Sabatini should have used when she wound up and hit a topspin drive volley into the bottom of the net to end that game.
That is a game that anybody who watched it will remember for a long time.
The big game.
Why?
15-30.
Now, the pearl of the Pampas could gleam again here. With 2 points, she'd be right back in it. Oh.
Whoa!
2 more break points.
15-40.
Wouldn't every player on the tour love to set up a point like this? She drives Chris off the court with a topspin backhand. She's out beyond the doubles lines. Open court backhand down the line. Perfect point.
Wide.
30-40.
Another breaker. Ooh.
Deuce.
Chris is so mentally tough when she is down. There are so many players that have gotten her 40 love, love 40, 15-40, and it seems you never end up winning those games.
Chris has now resisted 7 break points in a row.
Ooh.
Advantage Sabatini.
Here's another. She got it, and Gabby's
Game
back in
17.
business.
Game's at 3-all.
Three games all.
Notice Gabby's return of serve. She runs around that serve, and Chris just takes one step and says, ooh, I can't get this.
Seats behind the court. Thank
Three
you.
games all, as umpire Catalini asks the spectators behind Sabatini in Evert's line of vision. There's ace
15
number
left.
3 for Sabatini. For 5.
15 all.
Ooh, Chris disguises that so beautifully.
3 clean winners on drop shots. The other 2 were hit so well that Sabatini had no chance, even though she reached the ball.
Ah! 15-30.
Oh, beauty. Oh, boy.
30 all.
Don't think the Pearl doesn't have some touch.
The Pearl has some touch. And she said, take that.
Oh.
30-40.
Great point.
Game
Just
Everett.
wide.
Everett leads 4-3.
4-3 for Chris Evert. She's ahead on a service break again. We'll come back. Let's see that again, Joanne. The final. Nothing new for her to be in a final. She's never done very well in this tournament. 5th time she's played in the Slims of New England. She won it once in 1981. She had one of her rare first-round losses to Diane Fromholtz in 1976. She lost a final to Yvonne Goolagong. There's a name from the past.
In fact, I played Yvonne Goolagong in this very tournament and beat her.
You
I
do
love
have
this
some good
tournament.
wins. You have a win over Martina Navratilova. I don't want to do a telecast without the writing machines. AP and Boston Herald. And I saw Milt Gunn of the United Press.
Whoa. Love 15.
Wow. If Chrissy makes it, it will be her 218th career final. That's more times than I've hit the ball over the net in my life. Well, Gabby wants to keep this going.
Love 30.
And Gabby played that perfectly. A lot of the times, she doesn't take advantage of that. She sets it up with a really good ground D and then kind of lets the ball drop below the net. And poof, she's in trouble. First serve.
For 6.
15-30.
3 in each set have scored for Chrissy.
And she needed that point. Whoa.
15-30.
There's a perfect example of Gabby's backhand. Racket face towards the court.
She's through.
What a backhand. And she tries out her drop shot. And once again, the two-handed backhand has to go cross-court. Look at that angle by
She pulled that out of the
Gabriela.
hall closet. 2 break points. Ooh, another break point. That was the 12th of the set against Chrissy. Here's the 13th.
And during that point, Bud, I could hear Gabby in the back of the court. You could hear her exhaling every time she hit that backhand. She must be getting a little bit tired.
Well,
but she's putting everything she has into the ball.
Chrissy at break point, and yet 3 points from winning the match. Oh, that
Game
hurts.
Sabatini. Games are 5-all.
3 double faults.
Bring in the old balls, please.
5 games all. Six successive breaks of serve. And the crowd is in it. This has been a placid tournament up to now. Not much has really happened. It's all gone according to form. But here we got a rouser.
15 love.
And Sabatini must love to see such easy points right there after marathon hitting sessions.
Beautiful touch by Sabatini.
Well, this is a good American crowd. They came here to praise Chris Evert tonight, but they're with the underdog, too, the Pearl of the Pampas.
Yep, first serve.
At court.
Game
Sabatini holds her serve for the first time since the third game. She holds it at love, and she has a 6-5 lead, breaking a run of 6 service break games. They've played 11 games, 7 breaks of serve in 11. Here's 40 love once more.
And the point just doesn't start out well for Chris. She hits it way too short, and Sabatini drives her off the court and gives herself open court backhand winner.
Third set might happen. Chris Evert's hope lies in a tiebreaker if she can hold serve, which she hasn't done since the fourth game. That titanic 26-point, 10 deuce, 5 break point game.
Time.
And that game saved the set for her, surely.
Certainly did. You really did, Bud.
But as strong as her will is, Sabatini's right beside her.
And Chris, the most important point of this game is the first point.
Net court.
And there we go. And the reason why the first point is so important, because you don't have that pressure. It's being down 15 love all the time. That adds a burden to your serve, especially if it hasn't been going well the last couple of times you served.
All.
Chris waited a little bit too long to take that in the air. She should have decided, once she had Gabby way off the court like that and she saw it was going up in love, got to react, got to go.
Now Gabby is 3 points from the set, just as Evert was 3 points from the match in the previous game. Net court, no.
30-15.
The Pearl has had incredible mishits in this match. She has mishits that go up to the scoreboard.
A little bit like Bjorn Borg in that respect. Oh, boy. And he couldn't handle that lusty belt with topspin.
Chris is approaching okay, but it's just not deep enough. Against Gabriela, with her topspin, you have to put it right on the baseline, and even that's not a guarantee you're gonna get an easy shot back.
Sabatini, 2 points from dead even. She leads 6-5, second set.
$40-30.
Whoa,
Game
and
Evert,
so
games are 6-all, tiebreak. Sabatini to serve first.
it's tremble time. TB, the old tiebreaker, lingering death. Evert can win a spot in the finals if she wins the breaker. But if the Pearl of the Pampas, Sabatini, wins, then we go into a third set, and here Sabatini serves the first point, trying to get to 7, but with a margin of 2. And a mini break right away. 1-0 for Evert.
1-0 Evert.
Serve goes to Chris. 1-0. Evert leading 6-4, 6-all, 1-0.
That was a very important point. A
And-
break right off the bat.
She worked her way into it cleverly, patiently.
Oh.
Ooh, she got the line. One point all. They trade mini breaks.
1-all.
Been waiting all week, have these loyal fans of Worcester. It's been a nice tournament, but nothing to remark until now. Long, 2 points to 1 for Evert. The serve returns to Sabatini. I can see Steve Flink, who is Evert's Boswell, sitting behind the court, merely dying. He goes through terrible agony in these matches. Editor of World Tennis Magazine. Long, and a mini break against Sabatini. So it's 3 points to 1 for Evert. Huge point here. Wow.
Listen to Sabatini after each hit of the ball. She is exhaling like crazy. She's putting everything into it.
I'm sweating myself. Oh. What's the call? Good. It's good.
Right in the corner.
Emma Catalini, the umpire, confirms as Sabatini seemed to have a good enough drop, Joanne.
But look at Chris's footwork, and Sabatini just watches the ball.
Oh, that's good. Yep.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
close.
That's close.
Listen, I
Could
don't
you
wa-
tell?
Listen, I can't tell from here. I probably couldn't tell from the chair.
Well, one thing is certain. It's 4 points to 1 for Evert as she serves. She's up 2 mini breaks. Wide. 5 points to 1. They change ends. Pam Shriver calls Gabriela Sabatini new blood, new blood. The kind of blood we really need on the tour, and she's right. What a welcome addition. But now it's 5 points to 1 for the unbudgeable.
Oh, what a forehand.
Believe that one. A running forehand cross-court drop. Now you better have your VCRs on. You may never see this again.
That was the most fantastic shot I have ever seen.
Is that what they're called, VCRs? I don't understand those things, but God, what a shot. And it's match point. 6 points to 1 for Evert. Escape volley, 7 points to 1.
6-4, 7-6.
Chris Evert lives. Well, who would Chris Evert rather talk to than Joanne Russell?
Chris, the game we're all waiting to ask you about is the game at 2-all in the second set where you had 10 deuces. And when you were going through that point, what was going through your head? At 10 deuces, you were down 5 break points in that particular game. Did you think you had to win that game to win the set?
Well, I think it's, really important to win your serve, but in this match, Gabby was breaking my serve and I was breaking her serve, and no one was really serving, unbelievably well. So even if I would have lost that game, I think I would have had a shot at, breaking her serve. I think we actually returned serve better than we both served.
Well, at 5-4, you were up 5-4, and Gabby broke you right back. What went through your head there?
Well, she played a loose game. I think that Gabby, looking at the match, when she was down, she played better because I think she felt that there was no pressure on her. And I think at 5-4, I played the game to defend the game, instead of really going after it and playing aggressive. And she played aggressive and came up with some great shots, especially when I came into the net. She hit a great backhand cross-court shot that I think was virtually impossible to hit, but she hit it and she deserved to win the game.
Then it comes to the tiebreaker, 6-all. You both looked a little tired out there, but you were moving well. What'd you think when you were going in the tiebreaker? What'd you have to do to win that? And you won it so easily.
I was just happy that I got to a tiebreaker because I was down 6-5 and I had to hold my serve. I had to serve out a good game. And I think I was down in that game, so that made it even tougher. So when I got to 6-all, I was just relieved. I knew I had a good shot at it. And I was very surprised how easily I won it, but I just concentrated and didn't make any mistakes. Gabby hit a couple loose backhands, and I just think I was more consistent.
Well, congratulations, Chris, and good luck in the final.
Thanks, Joanne. Thank you.
Back to you, Bud.
Has been a role model, if you will. That's an overworked phrase, but I think she has been for millions of young players around the world. And we asked Chris what that means to her. Is that a burden, being a role model?
Yeah, I think about it because that's a lot of pressure, quite honestly. I think it started when I was 16 years old, and I did really well in the U.S. Open, and that's where my fame started. And I think there's a lot of publicity about me, and I was very young, and I felt a lot of obligations and a lot of responsibility, and I knew all eyes were upon me. And, I'm honored that I'm a role model, but I wouldn't want it to change myself or to live my life for an image. I think as the older I get, the more I'm being myself more, and I'm coming to terms with the fact that, I know I'm not perfect, but, I want everybody else to know I'm not perfect either.
No one is perfect. but she has come as close, I suppose, as a tennis player has. Now, we have players, of course, in the old times. Suzanne Lenglen didn't lose a match for years. Either did Helen Wills, Moody Rourke. I hope Helen's watching from her California home. We heard from her during our Wimbledon telecasts. And she won 8 Wimbledon titles and only lost 1 match in 9 Wimbledon. So there have been players who have had superior records. But when you consider that Chris Evert is completing her 18th season of big league tennis, came on view in 1970 as a